Welcome back to Rachel B. the Healthy Week. Today I'm going to be making a Bison black and blue meatloaf. So by black and blue, when you go to restaurants, you'll often find where they do blue cheese, and then the black usually has a significant of balsamic vinegar, and it often has sauteed onions. And again, I'm using Bison, but you certainly don't have to. You can use burger. So let's get down to what's in the ingredients. The first thing you're going to do, the first step, is you're going to go ahead and saute some onions, and I also did asparagus. This is optional, and let that cool a little bit before we put it in. The reason we saute this first is we want to make sure we remove all the excess water and moisture and make sure that they're nice and tender, the vegetables, before they go into the meat, and that they don't release that extra moisture inside the meatloaf when they're in there. So inside of this saute, we have 1 cup of asparagus, raw, very small, 2/3 cup of red onion that was also cooked at raw weight, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic. Now this is a bit much, but that's because it's also going to be adding flavor to our bison. Here we have 3 pounds of ground bison, good quality butcher box bison. You can also use burger, as I said, but try and keep it grass-fed and finished to keep it clean. We're also going to be using 1 5-ounce container of blue cheese. You can also use gorgonzola. That is completely up to you. Flavor preference, whatever you prefer. Here I have an additional half teaspoon of salt, pepper, and 3/4 teaspoon of garlic. Now this is to go ahead and make sure that the meat is thoroughly seasoned. We are not going to be adding any additional, eggs or anything to catch. The blue cheese will help bind as well. So basically what we're going to do is, now that this is cool, we're going to go ahead and throw this in. You can do this with a spatula or with your hands. I don't mind getting a little dirty, so I'm going in with my hands because I already washed them before we started. So here I'm going to take all my vegetables. I also used a teaspoon of oil. I used avocado, but you can use a clean oil of your choice, coconut, any of those types. Put the additional seasoning. And then I like to give this a mix and then go in with the cheese. We're going to try not to over mix because we don't want the heat of our hands to melt all the fats inside the bison. But we want to get this incorporated. And again, completely up to you if you want to use that asparagus. You certainly do not have to, but it gives you a good bit of fiber and some greenage in there. And if you do it nice and small, like you can see here, in fact that onion's a little bigger, see how small I did it, and you're not running into huge chunks. Now we're going to go ahead and add in that entire container of, as I said, blue cheese, gorgonzola, Roquefort, whatever happens to be to your taste, and whichever you can guarantee is gluten-free. I personally don't allow gluten in my diet, and some blue cheeses can have traces of gluten, so you just have to be careful with that. Then, as always, if you're keeping it clean, you want to make sure that you have a good quality grass-fed, grass-finished product, and that's been aged as long as possible to cut down on some of those casein proteins. Alright, once we have this well combined and thoroughly mixed, we will be placing it into a pan. This is a pan that I actually buy at Sam's Club. They're kind of fun little loaf tins, and then you can store it in the fridge in it, and then you can just kind of use them, recycle them after you're done with them, rather than just tossing and clean them out and recycling in your trash, which is kind of nice. But easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and form this, put it into the pan, and then we're going to place this in a 350-degree oven for about 40 to 50 minutes to make sure we're thoroughly cooked through. When we're done, I'll go ahead and show you how that turns out and how yummy that is. So here's our finished black and blue loaf. I went ahead and pulled it out of the pan. I did that by taking 2 forks and just picked it up since there was a lot of excess juice, and then put it on this board so it should drain. And now it's cooled a little bit, and we'll go ahead and cut some off here. So as you can see, you get a nice marbling of the cheese and also the asparagus and the onions in there. If you wanted, you could glaze this with a little bit of balsamic when you serve the pieces. But there you have it. You have a yummy black and blue bison meatloaf. Wonderful with a little side salad or some good vegetables. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. Again, you can substitute the bison for hamburger if you'd like, and you can substitute out the blue cheese for any other type of like Roquefort or gorgonzola, whatever you happen to like. Give this a try, and thank you for watching.